Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have a gem of a show because they're all gems on this channel. We're going to get into breakups, long distance relationships, breakup stories, just to name a few. But first, I'd like to start with the quote of the day. It's a simple one, but an interesting one. So, I played it cool, quote unquote. Think about that for a moment. Short quote, not very detailed. What comes to mind? Put it in the comments below. If you're watching this video now or watching it later, I played it cool. Have you done this in your life before? At a job, at school, in a relationship, in a breakup? Now, from the outside in, someone might give you this advice. They might say, hey, man, just play it cool. All right. The problem is being cool doesn't involve trying or playing. You just are, right? The coolest people aren't trying to be cool. The people that actually play it cool don't premeditate cool. Okay. And this is the problem. Okay. This is the big problem. Playing it cool on the outside, unfortunately, for a lot of people, they're not professional actors or actresses. And so it shines through as fake bullshit. Because if you've been with someone for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they've been paying attention, hopefully, of who you are, what you're about, then they're going to know when you're quote unquote playing it cool, especially if that's just not who you are. Now, a couple of years back, I was reviewing. It wasn't a YouTube channel per se. It was one of these get your ex back playbooks, 100 pages, $50. So I wanted to see what this guy had to say. And it was long-winded, it had a lot of information on it. Lottie, 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 lottie. Charged $60. One of those, probably paid someone online to write it for him kind of thing. But one of the things he said was play it cool like Fonzie. Now, if anyone knows Happy Days and the Fonzarelli, hey, hey, he was cool in the show. He was also an actor. And if you see him outside of Happy Days, he's not that cool a dude, right? He's the Fonz. But in this outline and telling people to play it cool, my problem is own who you are and who you were when that person was first attracted to you. If you're a computer nerd, own it. Own that shit. You're not going to be able to come off as playing it cool. If you're the type that, got nervous on the first date and she was attracted to that, own it. Be authentic. There's a lot of stuff out there right now, and there's a lot of truth to it. Women are going to gravitate towards more masculine men. Men are going to gravitate towards more feminine men. Now, here's the difference in society in the world right now. The internet's changed everything. Morals and values are more mixed. And there's sometimes out there where, you know, there's a guy that's, not cool, right? Now, if he goes online and goes to YouTube and goes to the internet, goes to websites, and all of a sudden he wants to go from computer nerd to Hell's Angel, it ain't going to work. She's going to smell that on you. It's unattractive, right? And to me is I'm cool. I'm cool with it. Is a lot different than I'm playing it cool. Being cool isn't playing. You just are. And let me add this to it. There's going to be certain things that come up that individuals, and this is compartmentalized. What do I mean by that? Someone can easily play it cool. Someone spills a drink on them. Hey, no problem. It's cool. Jeans don't mean a lot to me. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Right? It's not a big deal. Someone else that those are their $150, $200 jeans, and it means so much of them could lose their cool in a millisecond. I can't believe you did that. You got that all over it's going to stain. It's going to do this. Depends on the situation. Being cool is being okay with whatever someone thinks about you. It's confidence. And most importantly, it's you being real. So this idea that, hey man, I'm just gonna play it cool with her. And I've had people talk to me about this, and I get it. I get what they mean by it. Can you execute that? Because the people that really do, they don't try. There's a great first chapter on The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And the first chapter talks about Charles Bukowski, the great writer. Um, and basically, he put on his tombstone, and this is true, he put on his tombstone, "Stop trying." And this dude was cool. He was unapologetic about being an alcoholic, dare I say, a lifetime loser, a degenerate in a lot of ways, um, someone that didn't use very good language, and the list goes on. But he owned it in his writing, and therefore he was cool, right? So I got a story to get into today. I want to welcome you guys on the live stream. If you have any questions, comments, put them in the live stream. I will get to them. So it's a little different format. I'm going to get to the live stream after the stories, and then we'll dive into some questions and some back and forth here. Hello, Coach. I had a long distance relationship that has been off and on for a couple years now. We met online playing a game. This is very common now. 10, 15 years ago, we'd never see something like this. But yes, these are adults playing games, video games, meeting each other online. Go for it. Good for you. It all started out with us just having a lot in common and taking our chats off on Discord. So if you're not aware what Discord is a platform where people can meet and talk, send pictures. We do Zoom calls with a camera, and sometimes I honestly think he's older with the way he looks and talks. Well, but I've never told him that before. So she's saying I'm 22, he's 27. I'm sure you haven't checked his ID. You met him online. If he looks older than 27, where there's smoke, there's fire, there's a good possibility you might be correct. Meeting people online, this is part of the game. There's a lot of goons out there. There's a lot of people that find the internet to be prime hunting grounds for naive individuals. And being at 22 years old, you probably don't have the wisdom right now to be the undercover cop. But I would say this, if you're really suspicious of it and it really bothers you, say, hey, can you show me your ID? Right? And then to me, if I was 27 years old and I met someone online and they asked me that, I wouldn't be blown away by that. I'd be like, yeah, no problem. I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where you're getting involved with someone that you're worried about offending them with a reasonable question. Because if it starts with lying about your age, where does it end, right? So we do Zoom calls with cameras. Sometimes I honestly think he's older with the way he looks and talks, but I've never told him that before. We do things to arouse each other when we talk, but every time he talks about visiting me, I get nervous and I tell him I don't think it's a good idea. I want to ask him more personal questions. Then do it. Then ask him those questions. Maybe make a list. But the few times I do this, he changed the subject. Well, that's a red flag. Okay. You're 22. He's supposedly 27. This is an online relationship that's escalating. You don't know a lot about him. You have a right to ask some questions. Okay. If he's guarded about that, then he's guarded about that because there's something he doesn't want to share. So it's been like this sort of online romance / friendship. Well, right there, decide what it is at some point. Okay. Because you're going to get disappointed when you consider it more friendship. He considers it more romance. Define it at some point. Right now, we are in a fight because he wants to come visit me, but I'm not really ready. I've made some excuses, but I'm not really sure why I can't see him or want to see him. Well, it sounds like you're unsure about your feelings. It sounds like you're unsure about his identity. Sounds like you're unsure about his age. So those uncertainties are breeding insecurities, and maybe there's something there that you should be aware of. This is someone that you've met online. I'll tell you this: if you do meet, I would meet in person at a public place. Do not give your address. Just some sound advice to start with. Um, I guess I'm just scared. I guess means I don't know. I'm scared because I haven't really had a lot of experience in relationships or intimacy. So I made excuses and just played it cool. Okay. So this is where the quote of the day came in. And honestly, you need to ask more questions and be more upfront with him if you want him to be more upfront with you. Okay. You have these insecurities about him not telling you so much because what I see in you, I see in me. What you see in him, you see in you. So you're saying, I'm playing it cool. I'm holding back some things. I think he is too. Well, of course you do, because that's how you think. So I made excuses and just played it cool. When he doesn't call me for a couple days, I really do miss his calls, but I don't make a big deal out of it because I don't want him to think I care that much. Well, here's now you're playing a game that's dishonest, indirect, and I've had this many times with women before. They like to hint. Well, I didn't tell him how I felt. He should know. Um, maybe be a little bit more direct. See if your results change. My older brother always told me that to be in control of a relationship, you have to care less and always play it cool. Well, how does that work for your older brother? He's a male versus a female. Is that something that lines up with your morals and values? I would honestly say that it's absolutely true. The one that cares less rules the relationship. So your brother has something there. Um, Playing it cool needs to be defined. And also, is that overall you're playing it cool or just in certain situations? So that's a broad term that can be a little dicey. And does playing it cool mean being dishonest? That's my issue. The word playing it. You're playing a role that's not authentic or you, but you want them to be more honest with you. Think about that for a moment. Okay? Chew on that. I really do miss his calls, but I don't want to make a big deal out. My older brother, okay. He said, don't let them know you care that much. Keep them guessing. Okay. This is actually in a lot of dating books for men. Okay. If you want to use this technique, look out because it could backfire on you. If the guy has other options, right? He's not going to stick around to keep the guessing. This isn't, this is one of those things you get advice and you use it with everyone. And really, what I've learned over the years, there's no one size fits all advice. So you like this guy and you want to show him you don't care too much to keep him guessing. What's your objective here? Okay, to play games, um, to rule the relationship or control the relationship. There's a lot of men that have any kind of gusto, balls, dignity, masculinity. They're not going to put up with it. Okay, and really, those are the cream of the crop there. If you get a doormat kind of guy that's desperate for a relationship, he'll play that game all day long. You can catpaw him, you can go back and forth, but at what point are you really having a sound relationship? Right? You said don't let them know that you care too much, keep them guessing. Now I'm starting to think that I have to tell this guy my feelings. Well, this is an interesting thing because he's never even met before. So really, if you think about it, are you still uncertain about your feelings? You're wondering about this guy's age. You met him online. You haven't met each other in 3D in person. There's a lot of uncertainty here. And that's why you're not sure about your feelings. And this is why online long distance relationships where you haven't met in person yet are a minefield. We haven't talked in 2 weeks, and he said he doesn't want to continue seeing me online. He wants to see me in person. And if that doesn't happen soon, he'll move on. Well, I'll tell you this. I think it's a good thing that he wants to see you in person. Be cautious about it. Like I said, meet in public. But before you meet, maybe you want those questions answered. Hey, man, can I see your ID first? Okay, that's reasonable online. But if you're going to take it to the next level, you do have to meet in person at some point. The fact that he wants to meet you in person, I don't think that's a bad thing. The fact that you're unsure and you're uncomfortable about it, maybe bring your big brother with you, right? But you do have to meet up at some point. Now, 2 weeks later, I believe he moved on. I've checked his Instagram and he's been taking pictures with a new woman. They look to be having fun. I've even liked a couple of his posts so he doesn't think I'm jealous. Well, here again, you're trying to play it cool, but you're really jealous. That's not going to result in him wanting to be with you again. The fact that he's with another woman taking pictures, that's someone that's been present with him. My brother told me to just move on and go on Tinder, but I've been talking to this guy for 2 years and I miss him. Well, bottom line, your brother's going to give you information and advice based on your brother's playbook and what his objectives are. Sounds like your brother's a player. No problem there. Is that what you want? Do you want to be who your brother is in relationships? Good question to ask yourself. What do you think I should do? Should I just tell him I miss him and want to see him, but I'm scared he won't like me? I mean, that's the truth. Well, at this point, he's already talking to someone else. I wouldn't go as far to declare your love to this person or anything like that. I think you do need to consider if you want to meet up. He was very clear. Look, I want to meet up. If you've been seeing each other for 2 years and didn't meet up yet, you got to ask yourself, what are you waiting on? And what are you exactly scared of? And we could unpack that in a live coaching session and maybe get a little deeper on why you have these insecurities. But I'd also add this is part of the minefield of meeting people online and not meeting them for a long time because you've weaved into your mind that you have quote unquote a relationship, a long distance relationship that you're okay with, that you're getting something from. And then it becomes like, oh, we have to meet each other in person. You're nervous because it's new. You're cautious because there's some dangers to meeting people online, right? Do you get many people now in these types of relationships? How does it turn out? Great question. Yes, I do. It's shocking how many people have long term. Well, when I say long term, I'm talking a year or 2 years, 3 years, where they haven't met the person. How does it turn out? Usually not well. Someone gets left holding the bag. Someone gets left feeling like what happened to that other person. And usually the other person, one person leaves and gets tired of the long distance, the lack of intimacy, and they meet someone else. And the other person's wondering, well, what happened? What did I do? The circumstances aren't natural. Okay. Cavemen and humans from the beginning of time did not evolve to talk to someone long distance through a picture or a camera without physical touch. And so if you've never even met yet, right, it creates a lot of tension and worry. And the longer it goes, usually one person is more worried than the other. And it's just a fucking minefield. So I don't recommend it. I would say that if you can meet up and be in person, or at least have a finish line where you're like, in 3 months, let's meet up at this place, that's going to help things out a lot. A lot. So I hope that helps. If you want to book a live coaching session, go to rightmac.com. We have, let me just check in on the live stream here. 9 on deck, 3 likes. Please let me know if you have some questions, concerns, comments. Like I said, a little different format than usual. I'll be taking questions as they come at the end of the show, but go ahead and get them up there if you have something. So I just wrote this out for this girl. I played it cool. So damn cool. Nobody knows my thoughts, my real feelings. I got this safe that holds my heart. It's a safe with a combination. only I don't know the combination, so I can't open it. But nobody knows that but me, so I play it cool. I sometimes wonder, am I a fool? As my heart just continues to drool. I want to tell the truth, but I'm just too damn fucking cool. I walk with my head high. I dress like a superstar. I sing Bye Bye Miss American Pie. But deep down, I'm not fucking cool. I'm tired. I want that combo to the safe. I want to stop playing it safe. I tried to open up, but then I think it may blow my cool cover. So I continue to lie to myself. The truth is, my heart is warm and kind, one of a kind. Only my mind is blind. Today, I'll just be minus the cool. I'll see how it feels, what it does for me. I'll support the real me, showing the real me. The safe is open. My heart is free. My mind can see. I'm just going to be me. Hope that resonated with you. Ryan Phil, hey, coach. So playing it cool, it seems like both women and men are told not intimate with each other. Everyone online says, let women come to you, but she isn't ever initiating. Good question. And this is, doing this for 4 years now and talking to a lot of different people from around the world, different cultures, different outlooks. The internet has a lot of information. Surprise, surprise. Okay. People come to me for information. They go to my YouTube channel. But the bottom line is you go and you get this information and then you think, why isn't this working for me? Why isn't this working for me? Well, what's your situation? You need to get tailored information. Okay. The internet, live streams like myself, this is surface information. Okay. If Ryan Phil has a problem, Ozzy has a problem, Chris has a problem in a relationship, and I don't know the whole story, and I go, hey, this is just how women and men are. It's a red flag shortcut. Okay. How you define love is different. How you define what's beautiful. Think about that for a moment. How many times we got 3 guys on deck right now? Chris, Ozzy, Ryan. I bet if I went to 3 of you and I said, hey, what's your type? What's your type? Right? You'd probably have 3 different types. And Ozzy'd probably see what Ryan likes and Chris likes and goes, wow, you think she's beautiful? That's perception. That's interpretation. That's not knowing what beauty is. It's what beauty is to you. So when you get this information, women have to come to you, this, that, and the other. There's a lot of truth to that. There is. When you're in a 3 or 4 year relationship, dating dynamics, attraction dynamics kind of change a little bit. I need to know what happened to help you out. I need to know how you click and tick to help you out. Do you know what I mean by that? Right? This abundance of videos and clients that come to me that have watched hundreds and hundreds of videos, they get fucking confused. And they get into this mode of if I do this or if I do that, what happened to you? What's your story? Let's start there. That's what you won't get. That's what you won't get when you try to figure this stuff out on your own and try to piece things together. I see a honey in any part of the world, I will approach, or the honey, if has interest, will approach you. But the trick is what you said, coach, attraction. Attraction is not a choice. This is what's really interesting. Someone could go, oh my God, I saw the woman of my dreams. Oh my God, she's my soulmate. Says who? You? Takes 2 to tango. Right? And you think because you're attracted to her that you somehow got a chance. Start with the approach, start with the dynamics. She could be having a bad day. You could look like her stepbrother who she's hated her whole life. That's another thing about attraction. Okay? Familiarity. People are attracted to people that look familiar or they associate with other people. This is why if you look like a movie actor, you might get a lot more play, but you might be associated with someone they hate. or a race they don't like, or a culture or an accent. All possible. Now you can go around and say, oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. Life's not fair, right? Attraction's not fair. I get it. A lot of people have more unfairness than you've ever seen in your life, right? All the time. But what I'm getting at, what I'm knowing now, book the coaching session with me or someone else, get a therapist, get into this in a personal level. At least send your story in. But if you keep going online and watching 300-400 videos, you're going to be a nutcase, because then you start thinking, oh, there's something wrong with me. Windy Dawn. Oh my goodness. I hope you're doing well, hon. Hope you're doing well. I'm listening to you here at work. Hope you have a great live. Well, I appreciate you. You've been on deck for years. Chris the Critic and types within types. Good point. And I would add too, if you take a break for a moment, if you go on a relationship fasting, and you just look back at what your real type is, maybe not even physical, but attitude, personality, and character, you'll notice that they line up. And you know why they line up, even if they're messes, even if they're train wrecks? Because it's familiar. That's why you approach. You will never know if you don't approach. Good point, Aussie 41111111111. All right, I got one more story on the long distance tip. Let me get into that. Little bit different of a story here. This one just came in. If you want to send your story in, send it to rightmac.com. Big fan of the Fonz 411 says, yeah, man. Matt A, what's up? I relate to this topic. Well, Matt A, I'm glad, man. You're one of my favorite people in the world. I mean that. So, let's get into this story and then we'll round out the live stream. And please let me know if you got questions or comments. It'll be a minute till I get to them. Hey, coach, I got a situation here. I'm in a long distance relationship right now. I'm 42 and she's 32. We went out for a date for dinner, and honestly, I wasn't interested. She was shy. We didn't have a lot in common. Her style of dress wise was boring. She seemed prude. I haven't heard prude in a long time, but we used to use that when I was in high school or middle school too. She's a prude. So I just didn't ask her out again. It was okay. I ran into her again. We said hello, but didn't go out again. Then we ran into each other again. And this time we decided to go out. Things went much different. Excuse me. She was much more outgoing. She smiled. We joked. We hooked up. About a month later, I knew she was a good girl, and sleeping together meant a lot to her. I respected that. See, this is really interesting because I've seen on videos, with attraction, that men have actually said, oh, if she doesn't hook up with you within 2 weeks, it's done. She's not attracted to you. She's not into you, right? It's if a woman, you waited a month. There's women out there that are highly conservative that have strong morals and values about hooking up, sleeping together. They're not in the Tinder dating app hookup, one night stand culture, which that culture, I don't have a problem with it. There's a time and place for it, and some people really enjoy it. Good for you. Have fun. Be safe. No worries. Cheers. Right? But there are some women out there that still hold really conservative ways, and you're not going to hook up with them in a day or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's going to be a different game. And I respect the fact that this guy goes, I went out on a date. I thought she was prude and conservative, and I didn't want to deal with that. Cool. Then don't go out again. Don't try to change her. Don't judge her. That's who she is. That's what she represents. You can't have your cake and have it too. There's a lot of dudes out there that are really worried about body count. I didn't even know what body count was prior to being in this arena of breakups and whatnot. I never knew that term, body count, right? How many women have you been with? How many guys have you been with would be the question, right? Officially, right? Sexually. But this is the term now. A lot of guys go, oh, I just want to be with someone that doesn't, if she's been with 10 guys or she's been with this. Yeah, well, if you're with someone that doesn't have a high body count, like 1 or 2, and they're in their 30s, it's probably going to take some time. It's probably going to take some work to get in there. But guess what? Once you hit the promised land, she's going to want a serious relationship because that's the key to the garden, man. And so if you haven't been dating or interacting that way, it's going to be different. It's going to be surprising. So I respected that. She only had two serious relationships before me, and she only had two intimate partners before me. I would assume those are her boyfriends. Um, so it was a big deal once we went all the way. Wow, I used the word prude and all the way. I didn't anticipate how much of a big deal it would be. She literally overnight was in love with me and wanted to sleep over every night. Initially, I resisted this as it was over the top and foreign to me, but I also appreciated her deep love for me. So we continued to date. She soon moved in, which isn't my style. I mean, once a woman lives with you, it's a different ball game. I know that. Well, you're 42. I hope you know that. I've been single, living on my own for a couple of years after having a girlfriend for years, whom was good to me and I was to her, but things just ran a course into a breakup. I enjoyed being single, dated a lot of good women, but this one was special in the sense that she loved me so deeply. Well, I mean, she's one of those that if she's going to get into a relationship, she's serious about it, right? She's not playing games. If she's going to give up the nookie, there's going to be a price to pay. And that is monogamy. That is, I'm all in, you're all in. I want to live with you. I'm sure there's marriage somewhere in here at some point, right? She's in her 30s, her biological clock's ticking. The thing was special in the sense that she loved me so deeply, and she was different than any woman I've ever dated. She was simplified in her love. I'd like to know what you mean by simplified in her love. She led with her heart. It was her thinking mind that fell behind. She had a simple retail job. You like the word simple, that she loved and had no plans of doing anything bigger or better. She was really kid like. Well, here's the thing. She's 32. Here's the really interesting thing. I know guys that have married women that are highly ambitious, quote unquote business women, professional women that are actually absolutely miserable because of the lack of attention and being at the back of the bus in that woman's life once they're together long term. Think about that. Think about that. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong because that's up to you. But if this woman's happy, if she's really happy with being a retail warrior, and I worked retail when I was in college, it's a tough job. I got a lot of respect for those people. Okay. It's something everyone should do as a tour of duty just to realize, um, have some appreciation for the customer service industry. Okay. But, if you think that it's a little bit below you to be with someone that's okay with, don't force it upon her. Okay. Don't make her feel less because of that. Because what's really interesting about this is if you're dialed in and you make this a long term relationship, it sounds like her lack of interest in being a businesswoman or having some kind of outstanding career might serve your relationship better if you were to have kids or you got married because a woman like this probably will put you first. Fast forward, we ended up living together for about 5 months before I had to move due to work. I had to go overseas. So I left her at my home to live and take care of things. So I'm not seeing how long you've been together before this happened, but that's always taking a chance. I really trust her, so that wasn't a problem. And she enjoyed quiet solitude a lot. So I wasn't worried about other people coming there. So now I've been gone for 6 months plus, and we talk every day. That goes fairly well, but it feels like once a month she'll do something to test me. For example, she'll tell me some guy asked for her number and text her, but she doesn't like him. She told me she just wanted to be honest and that she would delete him. Yeah, that's probably a test, but if she's attractive, she's a woman, she's probably really getting approached. But I'll tell you this, I like that she's being honest with you, right? But she is looking for a reaction. But at the same time, women will be approached. I'd rather her tell you than not tell you. Um, She later admitted she just wanted to see if I cared. Well, there you go. Then recently she had a situation where a news story upset her, so she moved her mom in to comfort her. Now, here's the thing. She has a checkered relationship with the mom and said she was an alcoholic, but didn't go into detail. Now the mom has come to her rescue. She's upset because she feels she can tell that I'm not happy with her mom moving in. I explained that I'm surprised, but honestly, initially I wasn't thrilled. Okay, so I would believe the fact that you probably were surprised. It sounds like this is a person of solitude. My question would be, how long did you actually know her? I don't remember. How long have you actually been dating or together? Okay. This is what people don't realize. It could be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road. You could be with someone, you go, and the mom pops up. And it's usually parents or siblings. And they pop up and they jar things loose. The fact that she's scared about a news story is a little bit of a red flag as an adult at 32 years old, that she still needs her mom, but it's possible. Okay. That's up to you if you want to deal with that. But here's the thing. Mom's not going away. And her being sensitive about, stuff in the news isn't going away. So that's something you're gonna have to deal with. You've mentioned more than once, for 32 years old, she seems a bit immature. Okay. Now, I've noticed with guys with an age difference, and 10 years isn't that much. Okay. I'm not saying this can't work. It won't work. Um, but they tend to like to be not just the leader, but the lecturer. They like the idea that they got wisdom on you, so they like to give advice. And women in those situations sometimes enjoy the advice. They like the leadership, okay? They like the maturity of a guy that's got his shit together, has been through a few tussles of love, and seems like he's got all the right answers until he doesn't. And a woman like this can go 0 to 100, but she can go to 100 to 0. So just be aware of that. If someone's immature in the way they act, just like a kid can be highly emotional, irrational, um, this can be the same case with a woman like this. So, but honestly, I initially wasn't thrilled because where is this headed? Is the mom going to stay there long term? Good question. You got to ask her that directly. I have a nice house. What if the mom wants to stay? Well, if you have a nice house and the mom doesn't have a nice house, it depends on where the mom's at right now. I'm thinking I'll have to go back and sort this out, get a feel for the mom and figure out what we'll be doing moving forward. She's at a point where she'd marry me and spend the rest of her life with me, but she also gets jealous and doesn't trust me. Well, that's a big problem. It sounds like you trust her. And to be fair, I know why. I've dated a lot of women. I can be flirtatious. I'm also at a stage in my life at 40 plus when I'm thinking about kids and settling down. Yet all my friends that have ever gotten married have ended up miserable. I'm just not sure on this one. Wow, that's a lot of moving parts, dude. Um, I'm in the breakup business, so I know that there's a lot of miserable people in marriages. I would say you have a better chance in your 40s with your wisdom of choosing, but I wouldn't jump into this. I would give this woman at least another year of review, and I would also live together first. So put the marriage thing in the back seat, okay, for now. The mom, you need a little time for discovery. So yeah, you probably need to go home at some point. And by the way, if it's been 6 months, it's been long enough. You're not going to carry on this relationship long distance for much longer. She might meet someone else. There's a lot of guys that would like a woman like this with not a high body count that is highly into you. I'm assuming if you've dated a lot, that she's attractive. You haven't mentioned that once. What do you think I should do? I know I got to go home and make some decisions, just looking for a professional opinion. Yeah, I think I just said it, but I'll just round it out. I would say this: make a set time that you can go home, that you can commit to. So, like, I'm going to go home in 3 months, 2 months, whatever. Let her know you're coming home. Um, keep monitoring the situation with the mother. I would say that it's going to be a day to day thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if the mother gets on the phone pretty soon. Now, depending on the relationship to the mother, there's certain cultures, certain people, especially conservative women. Once you meet mom, it's like we're supposed to get married. whether they say that or not or hint. Not everyone, but certain ones. The way you've described this woman, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case with her. Now, you're actually considering marriage because of your age, because you want to have kids. Okay. You trust this woman. There's a lot of qualities you like about her. You need more time to review this relationship. You need to live with her for another year and then make that decision. Okay. And within that year, you'll know about the mom. And maybe in 3 months to 6 months, you abort the mission because you just realize, nah, you need more time for discovery. Okay. You need more time with this person to learn her. And this is what happens. People in 6 months, a year, 2 years, they get a sneak peek, they get the honeymoon phase. Intimacy is incredible, which blinds men profusely. And they think to themselves, oh my goodness, this is going to be outstanding for the rest of my life, right? You need more time if you're going to commit marriage wise. Okay. And then you need more time to review what's going on with this mom and know in person. You don't want secondhand information. Okay. So I hope that helps you. If you need some coaching, go to writemac.com and book one. If you want to book a live coaching session, that's fine too. Let me check in on the live stream. Fang Drog, it doesn't work. I am here to confirm. Literally did that last year. Huge disappointment. The playing it cool thing. I'm seeing it more and more. Let me play it cool. I don't have it sounds good on paper, but are you really that cool? Have you ever met someone? Put this in the comments on the live stream or below if you watch this later on that played it cool. And the whole time you're like, just stop. Like, deep in, and I've had clients that are a wreck inside that are talking to me for 2 hours about their breakup, right? They're going on and on and on. And then they told me, yeah, I sent this text. I was just playing it cool. It's like, all right. And then in the text, I could just see the little bit of anxiety at the end when they ask the person, you know, if you ever want to come back to me, it's fine, this and that. That's not playing it. Like, stop trying. If you're in a moment where you're going to be out of character from the person that met them, that they fell for, just take a little step back because they know you. They know you. And so if you try some line from Dan Bacon's channel or, where you're just trying to be someone else, they will know. They'll sniff that out, right? Just like if you have parents or siblings, and this is a big one. Friends, family, and colleagues, they don't like when you change because it throws them off, right? Now, if you go through a long change, if you go through like let's say you, for example, let's get a little deeper on this. If you are in a place in your life where you want to change your body, right? You go to the gym, it's going to take 6 months to a year. You got to change your diet depending on how big you are, out of shape you are, right? It's going to take some time. When people first see you, they're going to be like, oh my God, wow, you lost so much weight. Wow, that's incredible. There's going to be some people, right, that are still out of shape that liked that you were fat because they identified with that, because they like that part of you, right? When you break up with someone and you try to come back being Joe Cool and you weren't Joe Cool 2 weeks ago, good luck. Good luck. Playing it cool fair me could have discovered our incompatibility a lot sooner. Well, live and learn, Mr. Matt A., student of the game. Michael Andrew, what's up, buddy? Hey, Mac, long time, man. Manson touches on this in Models, vulnerability, being willing to get rejected, being real, and the attractiveness there. Yeah, that's a great book, Models by Mark Manson. It's a classic. And what he talks about is getting into a relationship with authenticity. And, if someone doesn't like you or they're not into you, that's okay. That's okay. Process of elimination, right? Hey, Mac, it's Black Widow, now Dragonfly 81. What's up? Born in 81 too, so we're the same age now, right? 41? 40? Congratulations to the world of 40. Feeling good? Feeling great? It always feels good when someone goes, you're You're 41. You look a lot younger. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I've been excellent, sweetheart. Um, I agree to disagree, Coach. From my experiences, honeys will sleep with you on the first date or max second. After that, she's wasting your time. From my experience, well, Ozzy, I will disrespectfully agree or disagree with you. Let me tell you something. It just depends on what you're looking for, my friend. Okay, so you're telling me, Ozzy 411, you got a woman that's highly conservative, right? Let's say she's in her 30s. She's only been in two relationships, and you're saying that if she doesn't sleep with you on the first night or the second night, you're done. Well, that just tells me I know what you're looking for, right? That's okay. I don't hate on that. I congratulate. Go for you. But if you're looking for a woman that's going to be long-term material, that's going to be quote unquote loyal, wouldn't you rather be with someone that it took a little bit time for her to open up, if you know what I mean? So this idea that um, I'm not saying that honeys won't sleep with you on the first or second date. I didn't say that. I'm saying that if you have a woman that is conservative, has some morals and values where she won't sleep with a guy till a month, 2 months, 3 months, they're out there, right? And that's not for you. That's completely fine. But the idea that that woman's not attracted to you or not into you, no, she's looking for a long term relationship and she's got morals and values that she sticks to. And she could be attracted to you the whole time. But for her, getting to the intimate part is a big deal, right? It's a big deal. I personally have had that a couple times where it took a month and someone said, "Oh, wow. Ended up being a girlfriend for years," right? Doesn't it feel better if your girlfriend um, maybe had those morals and values moving into it? Might make you feel a little bit secure that she's not going to wander. So it just matters what you're looking for, Ozzy. That's all. Just matters what you're looking for. Now, you could end up with a one night stand that ends up being your wife. So it goes any way. My point is there's not any rule to this. But I've heard guys say before, oh, if it's not the first or second time, I'm out of there. Well, let me ask you this. Those first or second times, how many times do those end up being long-term relationships? Or how much respect do you have for them after the first date and them doing that? Good question. Um, if someone plays it cool, I'm out of there up front. Yeah, definitely had to come in and hang out in your live. I appreciate it, Dragonfly 81. I really, really do. I got a few more minutes. Let me know if there's any topics you want me to touch on in a future live stream. That's something that's bothering you specifically about the dating game, breakup game, or relationship game. But this playing it cool thing, it's kind of interesting, right? I'm just going to play it cool. And to take it a step further, women specifically that talk to me about they do a lot of hinting. Well, I didn't tell him, but he should know. He should really know this. Okay. When you're in a relationship, though, the dating's over, right? Then what? Wow. Here we go. Some people just drop anything in the live streams, right? I think there needs to be, if Michael Andrew's still on deck about the models book, there needs to be a recap of a book that addresses dating now in 2022 because things have changed so much since COVID, being online, working from online. There's so many of these relationships that are online, long distance relationships where people haven't met. And where's that headed? How about healthy boundaries and how to strengthen them? Well, can you elaborate, Dragonfly? Is there a story or a specific situation that you've had? Um, that's a broad subject because what's healthy boundary to you might not be a healthy boundary to them. I think one of those could be family members, which I'm seeing, a lot of people breaking up over family members that get involved if you haven't talked about it. What's an example of a healthy boundary would be my question. And this is what people get into, right? Your boundary is someone else's. What? Is that a boundary? Just like I had a client earlier this about a month and a half ago about emotional cheating. He had been involved with texting a woman online, and texting her a lot, and basically um, felt really guilty about it, got caught, and then kept saying sorry for cheating. And I said, just clarify that it's not physical cheating, it's emotional cheating. It's like, is emotional cheating uh, the same as physical cheating, as in sex? For some it is, for some it isn't. And the funny thing is people will be dug in on that. No, 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 no. Emotional cheating is the same as cheating to you. To you, people don't realize that your outlooks, your view on things are you. We speak the same language with different definitions. Think about that. Words mean different things to different people. Commitments mean different things to different people. And that's part of the discovery of being in a relationship long term is you go, really? That's how you look at it? I guess sleeping with you soon indicates genuine desire. If they want to wait, you don't know if it's because of morals or they just aren't that into you yet. Good question, Matt. I would say that, or good comment. I would say that it depends on where you're at age wise, but specifically dealing with a woman that's conservative could be because of religion, could be because of the way she was brought up, but she just doesn't sleep with people easier. That's something that she keeps on lock and key. And if she goes there, it's going to be a long term commitment. Okay. There's women still out there like that, right? And a lot of men, I just had a client from my hypnosis field doing hypnotherapy with him. And he was like, he's 36. He's been with quite a few women. He's good with women. He goes, I want to marry a virgin. I said, okay. I didn't even flinch. Right. But you're not gonna be playing the game you play now, right? You're not gonna be Ronnie Romance in the nightclub. You're not gonna be playing those games that work now and get yourself a virgin that wants to hook up in the first couple times. Okay, that's in her 20s. You're gonna have to play a different ball game. You're gonna have to accept different things. Would that be personal? So what I would say is when you're dating, just like in this guy's story, he mentioned when I first dated her, I thought she was conservative and a prude. Does that mean she's not interested in him? No, it just means that those are her boundaries. Like, we're not going to hook up anytime soon. Now, there are women out there. Women will let you know if they're not interested, right? They probably won't date you again unless she's using you. So, this idea of if it doesn't happen the first night or second night, I'm out of there. That's up to you. But don't be surprised if you're not pulling women that are more loyal or more long term or trustworthy. What would be healthy boundaries as far as myself? I have to think about that. There you go. There you go. Make a list. Have it prepared. Have it ready. Is everyone just sick of dating apps? What's your guys' take on dating apps right now? I got a few more minutes. Or does it just seem like that's what everyone has to do? And what's interesting about that is a lot of people are playing it cool on dating apps too, right? ST690, hello. 9 people on deck, 6 likes. I appreciate it. Keep the comments, questions coming through. This is what makes it interesting, folks. Just for the people that are on here now, if I got you a schedule and I came on at the same time every day, do you think it would make a difference for you? Day game is better, says JN4. I just seen your comments recently, JN4. Less competition in the day game. Wow. It just matters what time zone I'm in, buddy. That's what it's more about. Chris the Critic says, I love dating apps. Well, good for you, Holmes. Let's see here. So, JN4, I just pulled up your comment. Mark Bennett says dating apps are fully controlled by women. Guys should not use them. And I talk face to face with women they bump into, I think, for the most part anyway. No, coach, I like the honeys more season. I don't know what you mean by that. Ozzy, can you elaborate? Daily is good. I'm managing a breakup. I think I saw your comment, JN4. She said, recently my woman ex started to complain indirectly that her girlfriends had richer boyfriends than me and they bought expensive things for their chicks. And that her exes and admirers recircling. I felt that I was being talked down to. I noticed her increasing irritation. She dumped me by text after 2 years. Well, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, my friend. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But this is one of those things where relationships take twists and turns. People tell you who they are, and you got to deal with it. You can't change that that's who she is, that she's impressionable by her friends, social media probably. And who wants to be with a woman that is competing with friends' boyfriends? And here's the thing. There's a really interesting thing about that, right? Okay. So one of her girlfriends or a couple of her girlfriends have quote unquote rich boyfriends that buy her cars or buy her stuff. What else do they do better than you? Who the fuck cares? How about that? I'm not competing with someone I don't know, right? I didn't get in a relationship for 2 years with you to compete with your friend's boyfriend who I don't even know because he's got a bigger fucking checkbook. Be done, JN4. What are your views on getting a highly attracted borderline ex chick who is not being given enough emotional attention and then monkey branched after a 2-year relationship? What are your views on getting a highly attracted borderline? What do you mean borderline X? Do you mean borderline personality disorder, or what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate? She was not be given enough emotional attention and then monkey branched after two. If she monkey branched after a 2-year relationship, and if what you said earlier in that comment about her being envious of friends' money, being irritated with you, here's the thing. Here's going to be the playbook. You're going to be a doormat. She's going to run the show. And whenever she wants to get your attention, she'll threaten to break up with you. So if you want to get back in that relationship, that's the role you're going to play. Right? When you give in, okay, so it is so whenever it's this BPD and it's undiagnosed, who knows? I'm not an expert on that stuff, okay? I know a little bit about it, but I don't play in that pool, okay? Bottom line is there's a lot of things wrong with her. Why are you chasing her? Okay, so let's just go through this JN4. I'll just break it down for you, bro. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your trust? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your attraction to this woman? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your intimacy with this woman? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your connection with her? Did you get that, or did I talk too fast? All right, we'll do a paid consultation. That's going to be best for you, dude. Get into the details of it. But if I had to guess, she's really hot or the intimacy is really good and you're overlooking the fact that you don't trust her and she doesn't treat you well. That's just a guess, but we'll get deeper into it when we talk. I look forward to it. The honeys don't have this old school values anymore. It's just entitled, and at the moment, type in the U.S. Type in the U.S. But I agreed. If you are out of states, fine. This old school type of honeys. There you go, Ozzy. You know where I lived. You know where I've been on deck, my friend. I get where you're coming from, bro. I get it. So JM4 goes really quick, 6, 9, 10, 7. If I'm correct, I said trust. So trust is a 6. No bueno. Attraction's a 9. Intimacy's a 10. Okay, so that's why you're with her. So you're going to sacrifice trust and connection. And trust is one of those things. If you're going to have a long-term relationship, what do you have without trust? Sounds cheesy, but it's the fucking truth. Okay? Guys overlook it left and right. If the intimacy is good, it's like, this and that. Do you trust her? There's no worse breakup than the Silver Linings Playbook with Bradley Cooper, right? Walking in on your girl with someone else. You don't trust her? Do you trust her word? How do you have a long-term relationship like that? You're going to be a basket case. And the thing is, when someone has these BPD, is that you diagnosed it or she diagnosed it? My thing with the mental health thing, relationships are hard enough. I'm sensitive and compassionate to the idea that someone has mental health issues. I'm not an expert in that field. I don't want to play in that pool. Okay? But here's the thing. If you're not mentally ill or have problems, it's going to be an uphill battle, because what you're going to do is you're going to talk to them. You're going to talk to them and tell them what they should think or what they should do. And their emotions are caught up in their body. Their issues are like, you'll never understand how I feel. You'll never know what it is to be bipolar disorder. And you don't. So you keep trying to help. Hey, try this. Hey, try that. Hey, I found this really good therapist. Hey, this. And they don't want to, because it's part of their identity. It's part of who they are. And if they lose that identity, they're a fraud. So my point is, when you get into these things, right? When you get into these relationships and they have these problems, and you think you're going to deal with them, they need to work that out on their own. And relationships are hard enough. Now, if someone has like a mild depression, or someone goes, they're really sad, they lost their dog, they lost a parent, or they have some issues at work. Those are things couples can work through. These huge titles and labels of, I've been depressed for 10 years. This is part of my life. I'm compassionate. I understand. If you haven't gone through something like that, it's going to be really hard for you to integrate into the relationship. Parents about to celebrate their 50th anniversary. Do you think this kind of commitment is dying out, and this is good or bad? Well, my parents are like 46, 47 years. Yes. Short answer, Mark Bennett. Absolutely. It's dying out, especially in the States. 100%. 100%. Someone told, oh, that's good for breakup coaches. I'm not saying it's good or bad for breakup coaches. It's just fucking reality. Big part of it is social media. Second part is people aren't as devout in their religions. Religions are a big part of getting married. That's why you get married at a church or whatever your place of worship is. Okay. And we're constantly distracted by bigger, better, and more. That's the U.S. theme, right? I lived out of the States for 11 years, and when I come back, I'm like, holy shit. Other parts of the world don't have storage. That's an American thing. People don't pay to load up shit that's useless just to keep stuff and pay for it by the month. That's an American culture thing, because we want more. We like stuff. We like things. We like upgrades. Now, the social media part is competitive happiness. We're constantly getting inundated with sexiness, hotness. Why can't we do better, feel better, be better? So how does that translate over to relationships? People don't hang in there as much. They'd rather bail. To say it's good or bad, it's reality, Mark. We're not going to turn it around. So instead of saying it's a bad thing, then you're going to fall into a snake pit of, oh, it's so bad. I'm never going to date again. Dating apps suck. I'm never going to do this. If I were you, I'd fucking adapt. I would adapt, and and I would start with where are you? What do you want? Just because you don't can marriage work now? Yeah, sure. What people overlook is are you when you're looking for someone to marry, it's different than when you're looking for someone to sleep with for sport, right, Ozzy? Different ball game. You're gonna have different credentials there. So a lot of people get that mixed up, and a lot of people are just opportunists in the relationship world. And when you're an opportunist, whatever comes your way, you deal with it, you confine to it, you give in, you give out, right? When you're someone that's a specialist, when you're someone that's looking for a specific thing or person, then you have a better shot. You have a better shot. And this is a big one that's overlooked. It seems obvious. Make sure a lot of things line up, right? Opposites attract. Yeah, it's true. But a lot of times you need a lot of things in common. That'll help you. If one of you really likes to exercise and the other one doesn't, it's going to be a long term problem. Okay. If one of you hates your parents and you like your parents, it's going to be a problem. Okay. Advice on creating a relationship out of it. And by the way, Mark, just to seal that, parents been together 46, 47 years. It hasn't been all good. There's been multiple times of almost a divorce. I find that your parents have been married 50 years. There's someone that gets their way more often than the other person. I don't know if you have that in your parents' relationship. There's someone that has the short end of the stick. There's someone that gives in more. There's not this, it needs to be more fair. There's someone that's usually has to abide by the other person a little bit more. Does that make sense? And I think right now a lot of people are into this. Well, if the relationship's not fair and I'm not getting what I want, then I'm out. Okay, I get it. I'm okay with that. But if you're going to stay together 40, 50 years, it's probably not going to be fair. Someone's probably going to have to eat shit more than the other person. Right? Doesn't seem ideal, doesn't seem right. That's just what I see. I see that someone's going to have to be the rock. Right? You look at relationships where people have an alcoholic or a drug addict and they just stick with them through 3 rehabs, through thick and thin, right? You know, some Mark Bennett, someone would go, oh no, it's not a leader and fall. It's not exactly true, but if you're going to be together 40, 50 years, there's got to be someone leading the way. Finances have to be stable. That's overlooked. Finances have to be stable. Someone might be relying on the other person for finances. There's all these intricate parts, but someone has to be willing to deal with the fact that things aren't fair and this person gets more of their way. Because this idea that relationships are fair down the line, hell no. And this idea now is that it's not fair for men that women get their way more often. Could be. Yeah, it could be. It's up to you what you accept. Okay? It's up to you what you accept. But this idea that, you know, you're going to go through a relationship and you're going to negotiate everything and get your way, most of the time you people that stay together a long time, they have defined roles, right? And also I'd add to that, Mark Bennett, they're also the types of people that are society based. Their rules and regulations. They don't like to take chances. Okay. Advice on creating a relationship out of a friend with benefit situation. I want one, but she's uncertain. Well, don't force it. Number one. Um, you know, if you're going to change the narrative on your friends with benefits, make a move. You know, you don't need to say, hey, I want to start dating. Don't have a big conversation about it. Don't make it a big fucking production. Go out like you usually do and hang out, have a couple drinks and make a move. She denies you or she pushes you back, then it's fine. It's okay. Now you've been polarized. But if you want to, hey, I want to talk to you about maybe turning this into something special, that most of the time the woman's gonna go, why? I've always just thought of you as a friend. She's got to be in a situation where you guys get physical and it wasn't premeditated, because if you've been friends for years, that'll be up. Now, on the other hand, if she's giving you signals that she's attracted to you or she's into you, again, make a move. But I've seen this before where a guy felt that way, and then he had the big talk like, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this." And the woman usually will just bat you down and just cat pot out of the situation because that's not fun. She looks at you as a friend, and now you're trying to negotiate becoming more than friends. Don't do that, right? When there's an intimate situation, like I said, however you guys hang out or you do things, have a drink or two, lighten up, have a good conversation, and see where it goes and make a move. But don't make a declaration statement like I've been thinking about things and I think we should maybe take it to the next level. Hook up first. Well, with COVID and everything opening up, things with Apple change for sure. G Money. What's up? I agree. There's always a leader and a follower. Absolutely the truth. JN4. I look forward to the session. So book that. It's been one of the better live streams I've had in months here. Good to have everyone on deck. Deep Poetic Society. Interesting. Are you a poet? So we got a few more on deck. I'll close it out with the poem I wrote for this individual earlier because you guys didn't all hear it. You're spinning game today, Mac. Wish I hadn't come in late. Well, I'm going to drop one for you, buddy. So here we go. Let's get into this. I mentioned this already. So today the topic was just to recap things for you guys after a spirited live stream. We were talking about playing it cool. I played it cool. I'm cool is different than playing it cool, right? Don't be a fake. Okay? If you're not cool, you're not cool. Own it. So here's what I wrote. I played it cool. So damn cool. Nobody knows my thoughts, my real feelings. I got this safe that holds my heart. It's a safe with a combination, only I don't know the combination, so I can't open it. But nobody knows that but me, so I play it cool. I sometimes wonder, am I a fool as my heart continues to drool? I want to tell the truth, but I'm just too goddamn fucking cool. I walk with my head high. I dress like a superstar. I sing bye bye, Miss American Pie. But deep down, I'm not fucking cool. I'm tired. I want that combo to the safe. I want to stop playing it safe. I tried to open up, but then I think it may blow my cool cover. So I continue to lie to myself. The truth is, my heart is warm and kind, one of a kind, only mind is blind. Today, I'll just be minus the cool. I'll see how it feels and what it does for me. I'll support the real me, showing the real me. The safe is open. My heart is free. My mind can see. I'm just going to be me. Now, that's cool. There we go. All right, folks. It's been grand. It's been good. Glad to catch up with some folks. If you want to book a live coaching session, go to rightback.com, or if you want to send your story in, Ozzy, Mark Bennett, G Money, JN4, Matt A, always a pleasure. Chris the Critic, Double C and NYC, Dragonfly 81, same birthday as me. Fong Drog, seen you on the comments many times, appreciate it. Windy Dawn, a vet on the set. Ryan Phil, I do remember you. Take it slow, folks. It's curtains. Appreciate the comments.